People who, in many instances, have absolutely no clue what they are doing. The Marxists, the anarchists, the looters, the agitators, the Marxists.
It's episode 132 of Inane Blather. Welcome back, everyone. Our legions, scores of listeners, viewers, worshipers, members of the Church of Inane. Which I think, maybe we will go ahead and found that and see what we can do with taxes and stuff. Be real fun. But really, I mean, even though we're going to found a church and make it a nonprofit, what we really are is just...
What is this? Just a couple guys having a conversation? Who the hell wants to listen to that?
No.
Yeah, exactly. A couple guys... but a couple gals and a guy, a few people, human beings, whose motto really is...
Creativity to me is just like, it's like a bird, like a friendly bird that embraces all ideas, just like shoots out of its eyes all kinds of beauty.
And I think that will be, that will be like the kind of, what would it be, like the mantra, just the kind of call to prayer kind of moment for our church. And so each one of you will have to memorize that if you want to be one of the...
headstrong, stubborn, quibbling, self-centered, vindictive, obnoxious, hormonal, sexually preoccupied, evil, thieving, cross-dressing jerks.
Okay. I figured if I just kind of scrolled to a drop that I haven't used in a long time, that maybe it would kind of get some things going in this intro here. And creativity is like a bird.
It's been a while.
Been a long while. I need to slim down. Need to slim down this soundboard. That's for sure.
All kinds of beauty.
I scrolled through the soundboard. I'm just like, come on! I can't find anything.
Nice.
Oh boy.
Doug, the only reason I want to have sex with you is so I can have an abortion.
Yeah. This stuff like that's in
Classic.
there. Doesn't come up very often, but Natalie and I got to go see...
Don't quote me on that, though.
And
that's right.
yeah, Stavros Halkias was fantastic. I think the other part, the other drop that has Stav on it, where is it? I don't even know where I put it. See, there's too many on here.
And scene.
Oh, that's right. That's another one.
That's another one.
This is one of the ones I always think of.
Yeah.
Holy fucking shit.
And scene.
There we go. It was fantastic. I was so happy to be in Seattle. Personally, if anyone cares about what I have to say on the matter, I love being in Seattle. I love going there. I love seeing the people that Natalie and Umberto know. And shout out to Zach. It was good seeing Zach, of course. Said that he was going to start, maybe he needs to get back into the podcast. So here it is, Zach. Let's get on it, buddy. No,
Zach's just been happy in love, and
he's been
doesn't need to waste his time on this drivel.
No, that's not true. You know why he's not listening?
He died when baboons kidnapped and ate him.
That's why. And so I was so glad that he came back from that horrible experience and decided to come out to karaoke even after he died, when baboons kidnapped and ate him. Oh, good start. So what have you been up to, Danae? What's going on?
I went to yoga tonight.
Oh, okay.
Tonight.
In our small hometown
And scene.
Yeah.
in Eastern Washington.
Oh,
at the
there
brand
in
new gym.
in a town of 7,000 people or whatever it is.
8, but
Oh yeah, it's been growing.
I was like, it was a Monday today, and I was like, I just really need to treat myself because
Treat yourself.
I am struggling. You know, it's like I just need to have a moment of Zen, whatever you want to call that.
Hey, yeah, really.
So
yeah.
it seemingly was working out for me because I call the gym up and I'm like, hey, is there any way that I can just go to this yoga class? I don't have a membership. I'll pay for it. It's fine. And the girl was like, oh, I don't know how to do that, but you can just come.
open the
And I was like,
door.
well, is there room? And she was like, well, yeah, there's room. And I was like, so how do I make sure that I have a spot? And she was like, okay, let me call you back. So the owner calls me back, and first of all, he thought I was a different Danae in town, which is fine. There's only 2 of us.
There's only 2 of them.
Yeah,
It happens.
50-50 chance.
Yeah, it's one of the Danae V. Which one? I don't know.
In the
Anyway.
Navy. Okay.
Yeah, Danae.
Yes.
Thank you. So anyway, I was like, no, wrong Danae. And he's like, oh, okay. Wait, are you Kenzie's sister? Which, yes, I am. Small town pastoral celebrity.
Yes.
So that should have been the...
Are you the religious correspondent for Inane Blather? Oh my
I
God,
am
that
the
Danae.
religious correspondent.
And
Correspond.
permanent guest.
Anyway, so coming to you live from the field, I went to a yoga class in the hopes that I would be able to take my mind off of life and stuff. And the teacher opened up the class with Psalms.
Oh my
117
God.
Or something.
Oh,
I think it was.
Wow.
She proceeded to talk about God throughout
What the fuck?
entire hour.
No
I was
way. What the
I went
hell?
from kind of just laying. Also, this is a big red flag to me for yoga classes. If the teacher says, we always start on our back in this class. I'm sorry, what? You start yoga from laying down on your back? That's weird.
I don't know anything about
That's
yoga,
a weird way to do that. Anyway,
I feel like most of
also-
them you start seated.
Seated.
Cross-legged or whatever.
Yeah,
You
but
start with your
not
neck.
straight
But
laying down.
I've had some like that, but I feel like it's usually where you end. You end on your back with a minute, but I feel
yes.
yeah.
Agreed.
Usually seated.
Agreed. Anyway, so that was kind of that should have been the 2 red flags for me, and I thought about it. I was like, should I just go? Should I just leave? I was literally in the middle
man.
and right in front of her.
Oh
Anyway,
boy.
so I stuck it out because I was like, I am
'Cause it's
here
just gonna
to
be so
yoga.
awkward
And,
if
oh
you
yeah,
left.
I forgot. I got this class for free, luckily, because he knew my sister. He's like, oh, it's on me. I was like, you don't have to do that, but okay, thanks.
Yeah, please don't. I don't want to owe you.
Wait, really glad I didn't pay for it though, because I would have been really, really annoyed. Because I was my eyes were wide open, and I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna keep
What
going.
was sort of the message of
Yeah.
what is the psalm that they opened up with? What
Um,
was the
Decent psalms
it
out there,
was-
right? But I guess it
You know,
depends on what they
there's,
go with.
oftentimes, yeah,
But yoga's,
I just have
explicitly
such a
not Christian.
yeah. One, I was like, this really small white woman is hardcore appropriating yoga for one.
That's what it feels like to me. Is there's already American culture appropriating it as a fitness sort of thing, which it is, but it is more. It's mind, body, and spirit sort of situation where it's meditative, and that's what I was just thinking. I used to date a woman. She's from rural Kentucky, and they wouldn't allow yoga to be as part of a physical education program in the schools because it's borderline satanic to them.
Oh.
That's what surprised me.
No, I-
Non-Christian.
Yeah.
I grew up
But-
with people saying things like, "Oh, yoga is basically worshiping."
Yes, I've
Not
seen that
God.
recently on
'cause it's
Twitter
a
from
Hindu.
weirdo
It's
right wing Christian people.
Well, it's Hindu and Indian, very Eastern practice, spiritual practice.
from the Kama Sutra,
yeah. Anyway,
Kama Sutra,
I am
Bhagavad
not-
Gita, whatever it is.
I'm not knowledgeable in
and
what
practiced
the,
a lot in Buddhist cultures.
Yeah, like I'm not knowledgeable in like what the religious practice of yoga is. I just know that there's deep, very historical spiritual roots there. So it's super weird to me when people are like, we're gonna pray. So anyway, it was like mostly
we're gonna
like,
make sure to get that out of the way so that we're not doing anything satanic here. We're gonna get that out. That's the only way we can practice yoga, is if we're constantly talking about and thinking about God, because otherwise I'm pretty sure we're going to hell, guys.
Well, I feel like it would have been fine if she wasn't like, I'm like, you literally could have taken all of this messaging, excluded the words God, and it would have been fine. You just said universe. They wouldn't do that, of course, because
that is
definitely.
God.
They're not going to give.
I discovered that on mushrooms.
Or give yourself any power, which is like a lot of, like yoga is like looking within yourself and like tying like your breath and like your self sort of situation, you know, that you
that's more literally satanic, right? Like in a good way, like the looking inward, things that are good for you and improving yourself. That's like Church of Satan satanic.
That's still in. It's in there in a way, but it's like expecting God to do it for you rather than you do it for yourself. Right?
Well, I'm saying that's where some of that could come from, but that would that would make it more like these religious nut jobs that call it satanic. That would mean that they're actually a little more well versed on what Satanism is, and I kind of doubt that. So, but it is kind of funny for them.
Absolutely not.
For there to be an actual. It's like actually you could technically be correct in some roundabout ways. You know, it's like, but that would mean that you accept Satanism in terms of the Church of Satan as being what it is, which you will not do because they don't worship the devil. It's like that's not what Satanism is about, at least in any modern context that I've seen. You know, if you've ever had a friend that's a Satanist or anything like that, which you know, a lot of people are, it's all about the improvement of the self. You know, there is no God to worship. You worship yourself in a good way, right? You know, progress for oneself. It's like, so
I feel like
kind of you could be right.
Danae, what is the deal with Lucifer as like a fallen angel? What I just saw something about the other day about him kind of just questioning. Like that's his whole problem. That's what God was like, none of this. Because and that's maybe why like Satanists are kind of, that's their whole deal is like knowledge of yourself, of the world, and like having I don't like to say logical because I feel like that's that gets into some territory that I'm not a fan of, but like
excuse me,
you know, where it's like
actually
what was Lucifer's whole deal? Why is he the devil?
Is that even in the Bible?
Kind of, sort of. I think it's actually more modern than it is old school. Biblical? Like original text type thing. It's been a minute since I've like looked into it. I want to say it depends on like the denomination. Some folks talk about how it was like pride first. That Lucifer was like, I'm so awesome and
pride
I want to be
before the fall.
Like, how come people aren't worshiping me too? Like, I'm dope, like, or something like that. And then God's like, no.
Yeah.
Bye.
God's the one who tricked you, by the way, back in the Gardens of Eden.
No competition. It's so funny to me because even if you think about that, like, that puts God in such a fallible, like, egotistical light. Oh, which is just
well, yeah.
What?
And he's the good guy.
And he's the good guy.
He's like, no, Satan, you can't be thinking like that. Only I can think like that. He's like, you're thinking you're the best and shit. Yeah, only me.
You need to take the free will that I gave you.
I'm the alpha and omega. You're the beta, bitch.
Yeah, like you need to
what about the other stuff?
Love me.
Yeah,
you know?
That's been it.
I gave you free will to be free to love me alone. So
you're always free
like,
to spend time with the tax monster. You know, if you don't want to pay your taxes.
Yeah.
That's what, and it's like I feel like, you know, of course, whatever. That's what I think about. Like some people's version of God is that he seems like he sucks. Like where it's like, why is he so thin-skinned and insecure?
The
where
first
it's like, if he was really like
omnipotent,
like to be like they're about him, and it's like if he was like really a cool, like all loving God, he'd be like, that's cool, you can love whoever you love, I'm here for you, my love is for you regardless of how you feel about me. You can do with it what you want, and if you love other
talking
people,
like that guy
if
who
you
they put
worship
to
other
death.
people.
Yeah. So that's the thing. That's the weird like mental gymnastics that I'm always talking about, which is like they do believe that God is like, oh yeah, I love you unconditionally. I love you unconditionally. However, because I love you unconditionally, if you don't
fear
love me
me.
back, if you choose other things, then like I just have to kick you to the curb because I
Yeah.
have too much self-respect for that.
You're gonna get raped in hell
Yeah.
forever.
I have
Sorry.
boundaries,
That's
all
how
right?
I have,
unconditional my
like,
love
God
is.
God has boundaries. He needs holiness.
But yeah,
And if you can't,
seems
you can't
gaslighty.
come with that whole like wanting that holiness,
that's the 11th
then I'm
commandment.
sorry, you have to burn in hell for the
There's
rest
no
of
such thing as gaslighting.
known time and space. Yeah. Anyway, hell is a construct that came about in like the last 300 years. So
Well, that's like
so I was
there's a-
I
there
was
was a
looking it
to
up.
exist.
There's a wait. I want to
yeah,
say
yeah.
there's a billboard in Seattle for a while that was. We talked about it one time on the podcast. It was a billboard for Judaism. It said, "Come for your girlfriend, stay for the lack of hell." Was
Yeah.
a billboard right
Jews
there.
don't have
on
hell.
Hell
They
yeah.
don't believe in hell.
Rainier,
Yeah.
and so they got
Yeah.
the Old Testament sort of situation again.
Which is what's funny that because then, in the Old Testament, or I guess maybe it's not in the Torah, which only includes like what the first 3 books
Well-
of the Old Testament or something. But I was looking it up because when I asked, I was like, wait, is that even the whole story of like Lucifer being a fallen angel or something? Is that even in the Bible? And it is. I guess I would rather just go to these links because this is an AI summary. But it says that Lucifer's fall is described in the book of Isaiah and in Ezekiel. So I was like, oh, okay, well, that's
both
interesting.
of which
but
are books written by prophets, right? They're not even
Really?
documentary.
no.
They're not documentary like books.
Yeah,
like,
I don't know much
in-
about the Old Testament. I just know
like,
it's
in-
boring.
The practice of like it's called hermeneutics, which is like the interpretation of the Bible and like its forms and stuff. So you have the parts of the Bible that are like Psalms, where it's like literally songs that were written. We don't take those literally. We call them Psalms. And then you have parts of the Bible that are meant to be like historical documentation. And then there's
So-and-so
parts of the
begat
Bible.
this guy who begat them, and
Yeah, exactly. Or like even just like these are the laws that we've written for these people, like fucking Leviticus or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you have the parts of the Bible that are literally just like prophets, and it's literally people just writing down their dreams.
Yeah. The entire book of
And
Revelation, they say
It's
it could
like
be,
God told me this stuff.
they could say it could be traced back to the whoever it was staying on an island in Greece, of course, and like or island of what is now Greece or something like that, and which has a noted for having like some caves and stuff, places where, of course, you can get carbon monoxide poisoning from natural gases and things like that are in them.
Yeah, but also,
and it's like
of
that's
course,
the entire
these people
book.
are doing drugs.
It's like, well, you just go into the cave and you're like, whoa, I'm seeing all this stuff. It's like your
Yeah.
your brain
Such a
is
high,
cooking.
dude.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
doing
Oh, I'm
whippets
cooking all
and
right.
writing
He's
it
writing it all
down.
down.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Let me
there's
cook.
The book of whippets.
There's nothing that can convince me that people were not eating mushrooms and like smoking whatever it was that they could find. You
Eating
know, like
bad fish. Getting
Or, like,
fever dreams.
freaking like peyote and
Yeah,
stuff.
peyote.
Like, come on. Like the book of Revelation is so bizarre. If you ever-
Drugs are fun.
Sorry, I was looking that whole time
so
for that.
true. But like if you think about like just how we have to like look at all of that through definitely like many translations from the original text into eventually English, which translating in itself is incredibly political, like depending on
Biases
who
show
is
through.
doing it. And then you also like just like a lot of the stuff that is in like an English Bible today is just like that. What even is that? And then you have people that are just like, well, I'm just gonna. I think this is what God is saying.
Yeah.
He's saying it to me. This is what I think. You know.
This is what
Let
I
me
get
teach
out of
you
my
guys this
personal
stuff.
relationship. Yeah.
Yeah. And I live within a context of a society.
Yeah. What, you think you just fell out of a coconut tree?
No.
No.
Yes, they do.
I
Actually,
mean,
often.
yeah, that's so funny. The Bible is really interesting. Obviously, I'm certainly not even close to the first person to make this point, but it's like
I'm sure you
where
are.
it's also it's like it's metaphorical language. It's not to be taken literally. It's open to interpretation, and also it's the literal word of God. So,
but also,
it
it
is
is taken literally all the time.
Yeah,
So-
exactly. It's like, but it's both of
Yeah.
those things at the same time. It's
Yeah.
not, God didn't
Pick a-
exactly mean
pick a
that, but
path
it is
here.
exactly what God meant because he said it exactly
Yeah.
like this. And you should take it exactly like he said. But also,
Because
Not
God
the parts
told
that I
me
don't
that.
like, though.
it's like, hey,
Yeah.
come on, God's like a cool, groovy
Yeah.
dude
Yeah.
or whatever.
You know what? Yeah, you look at the Bible as like an art piece. Wow. Leaves so much up to
Yeah, it's-
interpretation.
that's
Fantastic.
interesting.
100%. 100%. I mean, like, if you think about it in like, if like comparing to like the U.S. legal system in a way, like you have to go to how much schooling just to be able to be like a lawyer in like a specific form of like law.
Mhm.
And like the Bible to me in that way is like kind of similar, where like lawyers literally are like, well, this could be how the law
You
is
could be
interpreted, blah
a
blah blah.
strict
And it could
reader
be-
or an interpretation thing. Yeah. That's exactly what I was
Exactly.
thinking. I was like, what is this, the Supreme Court?
Yeah,
when
and we
you're
have like a
choosing how to read it.
huge, giant chunk of texts
Mm-hmm.
that have just been filtered and filtered and filtered over the last
A
several
Xerox
centuries.
of a Xerox.
But I'm gonna live my entire life based on what I think it's telling me to do. So
Like, anyway, so in other words, yoga wasn't as relaxing as it could have been.
yeah. Also, her flow sucked. Like it
Oh,
was not even a
man.
flow. I was like, brother.
She was like
What?
rapping. She's like, my name
Yeah,
is yoga
she
teacher here to say.
She's like, but
The
it's,
two poses she actually used the
and I don't
names
say this
for
lightly.
were like downward dog and like child's pose. Everything else, I was like, what are we doing? Like it was all super
what
disjointed.
would you say you do here?
Yeah, what would you say you do here? I left and I like sent my friend a voice note. Like I literally could have. That was a waste of an hour for me. I would have gotten a better workout from yoga with Adrian, and I would be
You-
less pissed. So
You should do yoga classes there in the small town. There you
I'm
go.
not a yoga teacher.
Put yourself out there. You
Neither
know?
is she.
Yeah, exactly.
No, she's actually. That's the thing that's so annoying. She's certified, and I was just like,
certified by
She's
who?
certified.
It's fucking yoga.
she's certified. Hey, I honestly was laying there thinking like, how quickly could I get certified when I go to Asia? I'm only going to be there for a month. Can I do that? Could I get away for like a week? Like do a quick little Thailand yoga certification?
I mean,
For
I'm
white
sure.
people, they do that.
I'm sure she did not do it in Southeast Asia, right?
Oh, definitely not. I would probably be learning
Certification.
from another white person over there.
Mm.
Let's be real. That's how that
Yoga.
works.
Let's see, certificate in yoga education. Of course, you can go to yogarenewteachertraining.com is the first sponsored thing that comes up. Oh yeah, so there's the American Yoga Academy. I'm sure
Thanks.
sounds like it would be a big one. Learn to teach yoga, meditation, chair yoga, breathwork, mindfulness, relaxation, and more. Wow, 30% off tuition. See, there's something here. 200 hours. Oh,
Yeah. Like I said,
but
could I
that's
do
good
it in a
because
week?
you're
Probably
gonna.
not.
Yeah, if you're leading people in this stuff, I mean, you might as well have done some sort of education on it. I would imagine, but I don't know.
Worse than 100 September 11th.
Was that yoga class? I guess.
Almost.
I forget how quiet some of these are compared to when I go back
Other
and I
ones?
look at the video, the raw video. Oh man, it's horrible. So let's see here. I just saw.
Wow, we just spent how long talking about that? I'm so sorry, y'all.
Sorry. What?
20 minutes.
For contributing with something fantastic, right?
Talking
Going
about
into
my
this
horrible
before we
yoga
recorded, you're like,
experience.
I don't know what we're gonna. I don't have anything to talk about. Hopefully, you guys do. And
True.
Bam. That one little yoga thing really let it off. Let's see here. Oh, I was telling Natalie this, and I've been a pretty consistent hater of the Tesla Cybertruck. If you want to know one thing about me, it is that I hate Cybertrucks. And I, for one, stand for anyone who wants to vandalize them. I don't care. I don't want my car vandalized, but I chose not to buy a Nazi mobile. So whatever. But
I don't care about people driving Teslas. The Cybertruck is Elon Musk's truck. It's like
exactly. Yeah, I told someone that on Twitter who was like, well, why aren't they doing this to Model Ys and all the other ones? I was like, this is the Elon car for so many different reasons. And that's why, I mean, even if we just choose for it to be the Elon car, that's that.
He chose for it to be the Elon car.
It's the one that he had the most input on. It's the one that he loves. And the people, it's like, you know, if you bought a Tesla, like I have a friend who bought a Tesla recently, and he's like, I mean, you know, it sucks that Elon really sucks, but it's a perfect car for him. You know, he got a used Model C, I guess.
They're really cheap right now.
Yeah, you can get them cheap.
The other one. Yeah.
I mean, I always said I'd never liked Elon Musk himself, but from the beginning with Tesla's cars, I'm like, thank God someone is making electric cars that don't look wonky as shit. Like, you can give Tesla credit for all of that. I think that's one of the best things that they've done is put out cars that it's like, you don't have to make this look weird just because it's electric. Just make a decent looking car and make it electric. You don't, it's like for all the, like the Nissan Leaf and all this, it's like, why are you making this look weird? Just make an electric version. Just put an electric motor in it. I swear to God. But the Cybertruck supposedly has a 5-star safety rating from the NHTSA. Exactly. And it is so immediate warning signs. Like, what? I mean, I'll accept that, I guess. I mean, it got a 5-star safety rating.
Like
I read through
a box?
No. This is not why.
Okay, sorry. I'm not going to get ahead of you.
I even read through the data sheet and stuff like that. Was surprised at every turn because everyone's been talking about how there are no crumple zones on this thing. I mean, you see the crash test results and it's like, oh, I mean, Elon fanboys will say, yeah, look at it. It took it like a tank. It's like, yeah, those people inside would have broken their fucking necks. Are you crazy? Like, that's why cars have crumple zones, et cetera, et cetera. So I read through this and I begrudgingly kind of hand it to Tesla. Like, wow, it's really surprising. It's really surprising that you can get a 5-star safety rating. Turns out they gave it to themselves. There is no independent auditor of this. It's self-reporting from Tesla. And it's like, why would I believe anything? It's like believing civilian casualty numbers from the IDF. You know, it's like, I'm not going to believe anything you say. You know, you're just lying sacks of shit. You're going to do whatever you can to make this look better. And you have all the opportunities to because he's in the government. He's like running the government. It drives me crazy.
I can't stop anytime I think about a Cybertruck today. I cannot stop thinking about that video where the guy takes like the fake hand and he opens the hood and then he puts the fake hand in the path of the hood and then just slices the fake hand in half.
And
it haunts me.
There's reasoning for that too, but it doesn't make it any better. They're like, okay, so the reason is because the guy has been repeatedly testing things until it slices that hand off, right? And it's like, well, because it senses that something's in the way, it'll back off. And if it senses more and more like that something is still in the way, it'll just close with harder force because it thinks that you stuffed something in there and you want it closed. It's like, none of that makes this good. Like, just, like, I hate these things so much already. Like,
a trunk to just close.
It's like other cars, it's like, yeah, if it won't close, then you get a bungee cord or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like that's the way that it goes. But they have to have everything with some sort of AI that's using its sensors to figure out what it thinks you want it to do. It's like,
It's like a
no,
subway door from hell.
it's a car.
Yeah.
Like, just
Like, how
keep
about
it
I have
simple.
to slam it down
Yes.
as hard as I can if I want to slam my bag into it. Like, I just
Yeah.
do that, not it.
Yeah.
Like, that seems like
Even my
Not-
kid today, I was
not
talking
safe.
about the
Yeah.
Cybertruck. She's like, and I said, because you know me, I drive pickup trucks. Like I do. And I always have. And I enjoy the utility of having a pickup truck. And I use them often. And I was like, but the Cybertruck just isn't a good truck either. And she said, 11 years old, she's like, yeah, it's more of a computer than a truck. It's like, exactly.
Nice.
Now, and if that's the case, why can't you tell that computer what to do? Why can't you say, no, please don't do that thing where you try to close really hard? Don't do that. It's like there's no like mouse and, a settings thing on there. It's like, ugh, it drives me crazy. Oh, it got brought up because she's learning about volume too. And I brought up the Cybertruck too. I was like, hey, we were just talking about those things. That's one reason this thing sucks as a truck. The volume of that bed, it stinks. It's like, I have so much
Stinks
more
on
room in my
ice.
pickup truck. Like, come on. Like, you can't even fit two bicycles in there. Like, standing up because of the way that it's shaped and it wants to close
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
oh my God, you cut out so much volume. But it just seems like a great example too. Like, libs and all them, like, you don't have to go down this path of whether he did a Nazi salute or not, or this and this and that. It's like, this is just straight up perfect, out in the open kind of, run-of-the-mill corruption stuff. He is now involved with the executive branch of government, which controls the NHTSA. Or however you say, I always forget, but it's the National Highway and Traffic Safety Administration. Yeah, and it's like, he shouldn't be anywhere near that. Just like how we talked about before, he wants to create a payment app. He shouldn't be anywhere near the Consumer Financial Protections Bureau. And instead, they just get rid of it. Like, the fact that they want to cut the Department of Education so much, if that hadn't been a thing that they've been gunning for years now, I would just expect, like, any day now that Elon Musk would be coming out with some sort of accredited institution of learning. It's like, hey,
can't
actually,
wait for Elon University.
exactly. And it's like, oh,
I'll be the
man.
first person to sign up.
But, yeah, way to
I'm
make
sure I'll meet a
yourself
lot of
dumber.
eligible young men there.
Oh boy, it's like that one that Jordan Peterson and them. They still have that, I think. The University of Austin. Oh boy.
Sorry.
No, yeah.
All of that
Oh,
was
you
sarcasm.
do love Jordan Peterson. Okay, you
Oh,
weren't
yeah, he's
being
so hot.
You weren't. He's so hot. Yeah, exactly.
he's so like young.
I just
and
love it when he
vivacious,
talks
you know?
about just like eating only meat. Just only meat,
Yeah. Oh, he knows how to
Really
eat
crying.
meat.
I just, as a vegetarian, like, there's nothing that turns me on more than someone that just
Than
does
eating
Than a
only
carnivore
meat.
diet.
just a
Yeah.
carnivore diet. Yeah.
Which is, let's just say it right here for everybody. You're fucking stupid if you think that that's good for you. I'm not
Yeah.
a vegetarian, but I'm saying if you only eat meat,
Yeah.
that's not human. If you were supposed to eat meat, you'd have teeth like a cat.
Yeah.
And you don't.
You
You'd
don't.
have huge canines for like ripping through. You
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't have grinding molars to like break down like fibrous plants and things like that. You're fucking stupid if you think that's anywhere near anything even close to how humans have literally ever lived. Meat has historically been the hardest thing for us to come by because it takes fucking hunting.
Mm-hmm.
It takes like a lot of energy. It's been
You
important
have
in
to
our history,
cook.
but
Just look
you
at our
have to-
closest
you have to-
relatives.
You have to
Cook it.
skin it. You have to store it. It's been hugely
have
important. The
to
fats, all these kinds of things that you made from animals,
tenderize
that you
it.
made like baskets and all this kind of crap that you made
Sure.
from him. But that was like,
Yeah.
be-
If you want to talk about
successful,
evolutionary
you
shit.
had berries, you had
Mm-hmm.
like herbs, you had grasses and
Vegetation.
all this kind of crap that you would eat. Yeah. cattails, all this kind of stuff that you would eat. And you definitely would try to supplement with meat, and you'd eat eggs and you'd eat fish and all that. But it takes like fishing, that's like takes expeditions to go places. You know, you go like hunting parties, and it takes like members of blah, 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 blah. So
yeah, you'd
if
have
you
to be
think that
some
the
sort of
carnivore diet
communist,
is
and get
like
people
how
together
people,
for that.
Yes. Well, that's how people used to live, but
Yeah.
You think you just fell out of a coconut tree?
they'd eat coconuts. They'd eat.
Yes, yeah,
But
you get some good
eating
hydration.
Just meat is like, I don't know. Your poop isn't
Yeah.
supposed to smell like that
Oh,
carnivore diet,
man.
bros. It's not supposed
Yeah.
to be
Can't
like that.
imagine what
You
my
know
shits
that,
would be
like-
like. Oh God.
Like one of the biggest killers of like people under the age of I don't know the stats, but like colon cancer is on the rise.
Really?
And like you, yeah,
Oh
like
God.
I'm like, it has to be linked. There has to be a link there between like keto,
All these
carnivore
weird
diet,
diets,
and
yeah.
colon cancer.
There's something to be
And
said for
lack of
cutting
nutrients
carbs out of
from-
your diet, of course, especially
Sure.
with the nutritional
You need fiber.
structures of our society. It's so bad. Like all of this
Yeah, you
processed
need
stuff that fills you with carbs.
vegetables.
Yeah.
You
But
need-
then
but
to go
you
carnivore
need
means that you don't eat
fiber.
vegetables. Yeah. It's stupid.
And
It's
vegetables
so
have
dumb.
not just like the fiber, they have like vitamin K and
Yeah.
vitamin this, and they have blah, blah, and they have like all of these vitamins and nutrients that are good for you.
Well,
in
I think
your diet, that if you eat
the
a
argument is
balanced
that the animals already ate the plants for you, so you're getting
Yeah, so you're like eating
the
their
vitamins
stomachs
I was
full
gonna
of
say, are you
chewed up
eating their
grass,
shit?
from the meat that they got from the plants.
which it's like, but that's
So-
not. It's not even close. It's like you think that
Talk about a
spinach
Xerox of a
has the
Xerox.
same like content, or like blueberries as like a steak. You think it
Yeah.
has the same stuff in it? Not you, obviously. But
Yeah,
No, I
Danae.
definitely do.
What's wrong with
actually,
you?
And I
You're
can't
like,
believe
"Wait,
that you're
what?"
arguing with me on this. I'm a
Yeah.
Jordan Peterson fangirl, and you're ruining it for me. So
Oh
well,
yeah.
I want to let you know. Speaking of brainwashed boomers, like Jordan Peterson, I have been a little bit leaving some comments on the New York Post while we've been talking. And a
Yes.
comment got
Let's get
rejected.
an update.
because I said brainwashed boomer, LOL, and my comment was rejected.
What?
because- I know.
I was gonna say, what,
I
did
was
you
like,
threaten
little
to kill
fucking
someone?
Bitches. No, they're like, we
Brainwashed
don't.
boomer.
And it's funny because they're like, we do not censor. Our mission is to help build
Yeah.
thriving communities and encourage open and civil conversations. I'm responding to a comment that someone said. Our K through college educational system has been poisoning our youth by brainwashing and indoctrinating them with anti-Western, anti-Semitic rhetoric for the past 25 years. They use the word brainwashing.
Yeah, really.
Because the title of this op-ed
Using the word
is
boomer.
Enough. And government funds for Jew-hating colleges
Oh my
like
God.
Bernard Columbia, the new school.
Columbia,
So
yeah.
because I think I said boomer, and I think
Columbia.
that I know, and I think that they and
That's
I
like
did
going on Twitter and saying
bitch-
cisgender.
I called someone a bitch, but with the I as an asterisk,
Mm-hmm.
and that got reviewed, and so I edited it and took that out
Mm-hmm.
because I was like, this is America.
I think you
It's
have
called the freedom of
to
freedom of speech.
you have
but
to dance around the personal insults. I think that's the problem.
I know, but I
You
was
can't
I
Oh,
was
that's
just
the
I
New
was
York
about
Post.
boomer.
Yeah. They can't stand
being
for ad
one.
hominem attacks. No.
But some of this shit that they say in the articles,
Yeah,
it's like, this is
exactly.
fucking racist. Some of these comments, it's towards the people, they're all kind of on the same side. The shit that they're saying, like Latinas are fat and STD riddled and all this kind of stuff, that's totally fine.
Hey, I might be fat, but I don't have any STDs. Okay?
And you're not fat. Not that it would matter if you were, but you're not. But it was just interesting. I think boomer is a slur on the New York Post because I'm sure that they're very sensitive to that. So
Yeah.
Boomer.
I know on the
Yeah.
on the free speech app that people love to pay Elon Musk for because he saved free speech. Every time someone brings that up, I'm like, all right, I'll just call you a cisgender cracker right now. It immediately gets flagged, and you can't. You'll get an email.
Yeah.
You do it too many times, you'll get banned for a day. But it's funny. The New York Post. I don't know if there's anything good in there right now. I saw one thing that goes, a couple episodes ago, we were talking about like the national debt. Yeah, forget baloney budget claims. I'm voting to break the Fed's debt addiction. And it's like yet another example of these people not really explaining what the debt is or what paying it off would really do. Where it's like they say, I want it to come to an end for your benefit. Your in italics. So they mean business.
Your
and of course,
benefit.
that's an entire paragraph as we've come to see. That sentence. I want it to come to an end for your benefit. Here are the facts. Our nation faces a daunting fiscal crisis. The national debt exceeds $36 trillion and is projected to reach $59 trillion by 2035. I don't know how. Yeah, imagine going off of projections that far into the future by these people. It's like there's gonna be a financial collapse in there somewhere. That's the way that it goes.
I feel like I'm having deja vu. I feel like didn't we just talk about this in Cybertrucks last week?
No, it was a
Cybertrucks,
couple weeks ago, but we were. That's why I said we had just
Sorry.
talked about this. It's just another example of these people like, hey, well, we got to pay off this
cyclical.
debt. It's like I don't want you to pay off the debt. I have investments.
Yeah. Once again, like, what happens if we don't pay it off?
Yeah.
What are they gonna do? Send us to collections?
Yeah. No, if you pay off all the debt, then what? Now I have to. Now all of my treasury bonds are just back to me? No. It's like my financial planner doesn't want you to pay off all the debt because I have some of that debt in my retirement fund. Please, I would much rather earn some interest on it. It's a very stable thing. But are there any other good arguments that you've been in, Natalie?
Well, this one, the comment I just left just put in there. I was like, protesting in favor of a ceasefire is not anti-Semitic. LOL. Bozos being triggered by First Amendment rights in action. And someone was like, are they protesting in favor of ceasefire that Israel accepted and Hamas did not? Or are they protesting against the existence of Israel? I haven't heard too many of these pro-P bozos yelling about a two-state solution. They want one state with the Jays dead or gone. They hold banners with a combat boot crushing the Star of David. Looks pretty anti-J to me. And I was like, they're protesting the U.S.'s involvement in genocide. The Star of David is on Israel's flag. Maybe they should do a redesign so there's less confusion when people call out their genocidal government. It's not about religion. Which I feel like
that's purposeful.
Yeah, just because you guys decided to be a religious ethno-state or whatever, that's your fucking problem, Israel. Sorry that you have the literal Star of David on your flag. It's totally within, especially it's like, I don't want hate crimes against Jewish people, obviously. That's not what any of this is about. Nothing about Judaism. But we can burn an American flag. I can do whatever I want to an Israeli flag. This is America, guys. I have, because these comments, they're like, deport these students, get rid of, like, straight up just being like, you should post their pictures, post their names, these kids that are in these protests, tell every future employer who these kids are. And it's like, damn, so is this America or not?
Hey,
cancel
I think
culture.
you're forgetting though. Like, if you do burn an American flag, that actually is a sin against God.
Yes, that too. Yeah, you know what? And you shouldn't be able to have any gainful employment
nation,
in the future.
Natalie.
Yeah,
we are a Christian nation,
like
one nation under God.
Yeah,
it's basically burning the Bible.
Yeah,
Jesus
Someone's been going through
is here.
Jesus, yeah, that's
and his
what
name
is
is
called?
Donald Trump.
He died on the cross for Americans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am
they
now
didn't exist yet,
but
that's
in the
what
Church
he was
of
doing.
Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints because
What
it
is
was
it
in
called?
America.
Exactly. Yeah,
that we
because
have, like,
Eden is in Missouri.
A theocracy.
That we did have. What is that idea that God made America for? Like that we have like
manifest destiny.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
that's what. But
one
this person
together
two of my comments,
team.
they're going
1,
through,
2, 3.
Manifest destiny.
Manifest destiny.
Okay, all right, everyone. Okay.
That would be my stage name.
Destiny.
Manifest destiny. It's destiny.
Or Destiny Manifest.
Destiny. Yeah.
I am your
just gonna manifest some destiny.
I'm gonna what's a font? I don't know,
I'm gonna festival.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make a joke about like touching someone, like that starts with an F. You know, like
Fondling?
You know,
Fester.
Like yeah, that's all that I can think of though.
Oh.
Destiny Manifester, just like a big zit or like a wound.
Destiny manhandling. Yeah.
Yeah, something like
I
that.
got you.
It's got legs.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
I got it
There's
exactly.
something there.
You could do a 4
Add it to
minute
that type
bit
4.
on that.
Yeah.
Add that
This is the
type
worst
4.
music I've ever heard. Honestly, this is like truly offensive.
Yeah, I see this right now. Yeah, enough. End government funds for Jew-hating colleges. Oh man,
Jew-hating colleges? What a fucking statement that is. Damn.
Did you guys watch the Oscars last night?
No, I cannot believe that I missed the Oscar special.
The
Completely
Palestinian
forgot
documentary
about it.
won Best
Yes.
Documentary.
They won,
They are-
and that was an
people are
amazing acceptance
upset about it.
speech. Incredible.
Nice.
Incredible
I like that.
acceptance speech. And then Adam Brody came up and just
Adrian Brody.
And what he was
yeah,
like.
whatever his name is, Adrian Brody.
Oh yeah, I just didn't know if it was someone else.
Oh. And he said
Is
what?
he involved in? Or no? What?
He was
what
just
he up there
like
for?
he was basically just like hate has no place in this world, and it's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
What are you talking
It's like,
about?
so
are you talking about
So
anti-Semitism?
you're advocating
We
for
know.
a one-state solution, right?
Mm.
That's what I am.
Something.
Because hate has no place
He-
there.
he spoke so long. He basically told them to stop playing the music to outro him.
Oh
he
my
did actually
God.
tell them to do that.
Nice.
And so he actually went over his time slot, and a lot of people were watching it on Hulu, myself included.
Yeah.
And Hulu only had the Oscars slotted for so long
Yeah.
on the live stream that it actually cut the end of the Oscars
Oh
off
my
completely.
God.
And there was
Because of
no
his
way.
speech.
Yeah, and there was no way to like log back on to
Yeah.
see it. Like it was just done.
Oh,
and it was like,
no.
oh,
Yeah, you would
I
have
guess
to be
I'll just
watching
have
on,
to
like,
Google
an
who
antenna.
won the. Yeah, I had to like Google who won like Best Actress and like the Best Picture.
Best picture is like at
Whoa.
the very end. Yeah.
Oh, because Adrian
was-
Brody
it was
is like,
just
Because
like-
I have some very personal shit to talk about. If you interrupt
Yeah,
me
he had
again,
really
I swear to
personal
God,
shit to talk
you will be paying for it for a long time.
So
well, I
anyway.
wonder. I just know
It's
that
not worth your time looking up. It was really boring, his
Oh.
speech. Everyone was talking about how it was like, why did you do that? It was like such a waste of everyone's time. But anyway. Thanks. Oh,
Yeah.
also he used AI for his Hungarian accent in the role he won the Oscar for. So
What?
that's cool, I
Oh
guess.
no, the Brutalist. That's what.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
They used AI for the Hungarian.
The AI
So-
Hungarian. That's my stage name. No.
AI Hungarian.
Yeah.
Artificial Hungarian.
Yeah, yeah, because you would need artificial intelligence to have it, or something like that. I don't know. That'd be some sort of. We're instead of doing Polish jokes, we're gonna direct them towards Hungary. Yeah, yeah.
Victor Orban. Is that Hungary's president?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Okay.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah. Let's see here. I know
Yeah.
that I did see
Viktor
one
Orban.
quick little joke from Conan that was great. He says, "Well, we're halfway through the Oscars, which means it's time for Kendrick Lamar to come out and call Drake a pedophile."
That's funny.
It was
I
really
love
good.
Conan. So that's why I'm sad that I missed it. Hopefully, I will be able to. I'll be able to go back and rewatch the Oscar
Yeah, you
special.
should watch the highlights.
So-
The highlights for sure. Ben Stiller also had a really
Get him
great.
the f- out of here!
He had a really great introduction to, I want to say like it was like stage production or whatever, and it was just chef's kiss. Loved it. So cute. So Ben Stiller.
Yeah, let's see.
Highly
Oh,
recommend.
yeah. Yet another. I think he's a Zionist, though. So whatever, we can just throw all that away. Let's see. Oscars.
Damn it,
Let's
Ben.
see what.
I loved Walter Mitty.
Oh, is that a recommendation? Walter Mitty.
Not anymore.
I forgot about that. That's The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. Is
The
that what it is?
Secret Life of Walter Mitty was
Okay.
a great film. I loved it. But also,
These
he's
people,
doing really
dude.
well. Didn't he write Severance? And people are like obsessed with that right now.
Yeah, I didn't know that he wrote that.
He's
But
that's
yeah,
good.
Ben
Produced
Stiller's
it.
done some great stuff. And I'm just throwing that out there. I feel like I remember people saying that he was a Zionist. What sucks is that if you're talking about Hollywood and all that stuff, and who like blindly supports Israel and would be like a Zionist, then you immediately start tiptoeing towards like actual anti-Semitic conspiracy theory stuff, when it's just like, I mean, it's just the fact of the matter that like so many American Jews do support, would be considered a Zionist and stuff like that, are definitely not supporters of Jewish Voices for Peace and stuff like that. And so then if you apply that to a lot of the entertainment that you like, it's like, well, I mean, that's come up a few times. Like, why is anyone surprised that, these characters on Bob's Burgers, they're Zionists, and stuff like that, or yada yada. And I'm like, well, that one I am surprised, because Sam Cedars on the show, and he's not a Zionist, and he is a Jewish person who has been calling out Israel for 2 decades, But yeah, it is really unfortunate wherever you want to draw the line, whether it's with BDS or just not wanting to support Zionist, people. I mean, I don't know. You play right into the, you play right into the moronic arguments where people are like, well, you just hate Jews. Come out and say it. It's like, no, I swear to God. It's like, I don't like this person because of Zionist viewpoints. It's imperialism. It's apartheid,
Sure.
whatever it might be. It's like, nope, you just hate Jews. It's like, I don't know. That's a conversation ender.
Okay, I'm still reading through these comments.
Oh, I
on the
thought
New
you
York
were
Post.
reacting to what I was
No.
saying. I was like, sorry, I'm trying to tiptoe.
I was like, no. That's what I'm like. That's just like women can be stupid bitches. Jewish
Yeah.
people can be idiots. Latino people can be stupid. I'm
Just not
gonna
white
stop
men.
listing people there because, man, I'm gonna get myself.
Yeah, let's start
sounding really
ranking
dumb
them.
there. Or
Which
really
ones?
bad.
No.
Yeah, there's no. It's anybody is capable of having a really bad take, really stupid, ignorant, misinformed
what this
opinions.
is.
It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter your intersectionality.
Mm-hmm.
This comment, I'm like, I got flagged for saying brainwashed boomer. Mr. Fahrenheit on this Jew hating colleges thing says the Austrian painter gets proven right every single day about them.
Well, they know a way around it. Yep. It's just like what happened. I mean, I was like, that reminds me of Twitter, but it's like, no, on Twitter they just say Hitler was right. So,
I mean, he's not even. I guess it makes sense to me because he's not actually speaking to a person directly, like telling them something. Anyway, but jeez,
well, I don't know what my
Jesus
deal
Christ.
is. I'm gonna have to cut this short.
Yeah, yikes. It is interesting. One of mine and Humby's friends is like, she's Jewish. She's, I guess it's like hard to say if she's that she's a Zionist, but her arguments are certainly like about like Hamas and stuff is really misinformed. She's surrounded by a community of people who largely agree with her.
Often disinformed. Purposefully. That's what propaganda does.
And just talking and like false equivalencies and anyone is capable of having a logical fallacy of an argument, just like being bad at thinking about things and like and just like misunderstanding the protest is especially like Umberto's always saying, like he was telling our friend, like these other things don't have anything to do with America, other genocides around the world or whatever you want to say, because we're not literally like these protests are saying, get my money out of there. That's what we have control as Americans to stop our involvement in this particular thing, because we are very directly, very obviously there's a direct line connection from us to their weapons that they're using. So that's what these protests, it's like, these other, it's like, oh, you don't care about, it's like, of course we do, but we're not doing shit about that.
Oh, you
like,
don't care about the Sudan?
It's
like, well,
you could be an activist for those kinds of things that are a lot more like abstract, and our
Congo.
lack of action is like a little bit different than our This is the
direct
trolley problem.
support.
If you don't pull the
Right.
lever, is that the same as pulling the lever? I don't know. I guess you could argue that they're the same or they're different or whatever, but it sure seems
let's get
different to
into
give someone a
philosophy.
gun and they turn around and shoot a child in the head with it
Yeah.
rather than vote no on sending aid to Sudan when, other countries are doing that or, blah, blah, blah. It's like a really different sort of conversation that you're having
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
you're talking about our role in it and our
Exactly.
ability to stop doing something about it.
Right.
But
And putting all
people
these-
do, protest in favor of us helping, ending, children starving in Yemen and stuff. And Bernie Sanders has been talking about, these crises that are happening in other places too, and our lack of
Yemen.
involvement in them. So it's like there are people talking about it, but
Yeah.
this one is
Yeah.
especially egregious because it's our guns, our money, hundreds of millions of dollars, billions of dollars or whatever, directly into people dying
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
bullets from
I
our
think it's
manufacturers and weapons.
It's really, I don't know, it's really frustrating to hear those conversations that people have sometimes, because it's like there's a huge difference between us actually supplying the gun versus like
Yeah.
not stepping in when like something is happening somewhere where people need aid.
Yeah.
And like it's like wait.
Yeah, and on top of that, often the assumption is like, oh, well, you don't care about. It's like, but so
We're in a
often they're
proxy
wrong in
war.
that too. Where it's just like, oh, what about this? The stuff with Yemen, that has been supported by the United States via Saudi Arabia and stuff like that. And it's like, yeah, no, people have been talking about that for a long time. That was like something that got immediately called out during Trump's first term because he was the non-war guy, and like right off the bat, children were dead in Yemen because of our direct, like, we don't have troops on the ground per se in the way that they're thinking, but our direct involvement and our definitely very close and friendly ties with Saudi Arabia and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's like, whatever. And even if not,
Like a
that's
lack
not what
of
we're talking
action.
about. Whataboutism doesn't bring Gazan children back
And-
to life.
And what about it? I would vote every single time to raise taxes on people with money or have it go to help these other people too. I'd be very happy to have a part of my taxes go to
100%.
helping
yeah.
starving people in Yemen and all that. So my morals are consistent. There is a through line where I like fewer dead people.
Yeah.
That's like kind of my moral stance, generally speaking.
What a tagline.
But
Yeah.
Natalie,
I feel like
fewer
a lot of
dead
Americans-
people, Morgan. No.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of Americans will say that, but then if it like has to do with like people that are brown or black, or
Oh,
something,
yeah.
they're like, oh,
Oh, or just
it's better
anything
not to be involved.
anything involving
Real estate?
Islam,
Oil?
don't
Oh yeah,
people just I just got in one of those arguments today where it was like, at the end of the day, I was like, oh, you just don't like
you're just
Arab
an
people.
Islamophobic person.
Yeah.
yeah.
And I
they're
remember,
un-Christian.
so it was like they said some really horrific stuff, like, but assumed that I was like a supporter of Islam or that I was Muslim or something on the internet or something. I was like,
You're like
you're way
my
off, dude.
my brother in
just-
Christ.
Yeah, I just don't want more dead people, whether they're,
Yeah.
Arab children or Jewish people or whatever
Just-
it is.
You just have to remind them that there's also Palestinian Christians that are dying. All
Yes.
the time,
Oh, I was going to say that when you were talking about like the flag, it's like, man, really thinking about it with the Israeli flag, supporters, that are really, really deep into the Hasbara will say, yeah, but you know what? There was no apartheid. These people have just as many rights as they do. There are all these Muslim people that can be in government or whatever. Sometimes it's just straight up lies. But it's like, so which is it? Like, do you actually want Israel to be a multi-ethnic, multi-religious, accepting democracy? It's the only democracy in the Middle East, right? It's like, but like irrevocably tie Judaism to your nation state. It's on the flag. It's like, no, don't worry. We also welcome Christians and Muslims. It's like, do you? It's like, how about you just have a different blue and white flag, my man? It's like, it's okay to be Jewish, but you know what? It's great. There's only so many of you guys out there, so good for you. But it's
also,
pretty plainly stated.
The name Israel itself is like literally like just also like Christian. It's just a Christian thing too.
Really?
Yeah, like the children of Israel will always be God's children, and
I mean that's
it's
Christian
a sign
or,
of the end
and
times.
Not Jewish?
What?
That comes from like the New Testament, or
That comes from the New Testament. That is like, or at least in American evangelicalism, like
yeah,
a huge part of the reason why evangelical Christians are so supportive of whatever that is that Israel is doing is literally just the name, the branding, because
branding.
If it's like a sign that the Antichrist is coming,
yeah,
if the state of Israel falls and blah, blah, like there's so much like
then
like
you
really
can finally spur the
lore.
end times.
Yeah, it's like you guys need to like stop like equating a nation state with like a religious people. It's across everywhere though, so you know.
Let's see what we got here. Natalie put something in here.
Don't read it out loud, I swear to God.
Oh,
because
okay.
I said this is a comment that didn't get flagged on NYP that got posted.
I was
It's
going
a
to just
thing
show it
about
on the thing. So no,
Al
never mind.
Sharpton. Well, you can, because this is, I just copy and pasted it
Oh, I see.
There's an article about Al Sharpton. He's talking about
do I
him.
get
So what do
to
you
the
think the comment is that didn't get flagged and got through because they used a lot of...
geez.
Because they went out of their way...
Like I would read that out loud.
to use accents, and I wish you had that drop on you, because
I don't have any drop that says
the N-word,
so I wouldn't I wouldn't use it.
It says the N-word with a bunch of accents over all of the letters.
Oh, exactly. Oh, you see,
Jesus
you used
Christ.
Again. You used to see
And
that
I can't
on
say
Twitter
boomer.
a lot. They just say the N-word now. Yeah, and you can't say boomer. Man, imagine. I wonder if you'll get flagged for calling people crackers. I wonder, because
I'm really happy I opened
was a
this
big
chat
one.
and that the hackers playing AI video of Trump kissing Elon Musk's feet.
Oh, it's a great way. Oh man,
We do a little trolling. It's called We Do a Little Trolling.
Okay, well,
I wonder what...
go for it.
Well, there's a comment that says, because this is all about Al Sharpton, don't ever believe a word out of this, and it's like a underscore, like a dash, like underscore, so it's blanked, and then TS mouth. And I wonder what that slur is. I don't even know what that slur is. It's blank TS mouth. So don't believe a word out of this.
The F word.
Mouth.
Yeah, I was gonna say it might be the F word.
Oh, for Al Sharpton?
Oh
Is he
yeah,
gay?
yeah. Well,
I
mean, let's see.
that's what. He's not gay. I mean that doesn't matter.
Yeah, I
necessarily,
mean that's
but,
usually not what the slur is. Pretty catch-all, you know. Yeah, that's what I told you. You know, that's what I would be practicing on the Stavros Halkias slur range. You know, just yelling the F word as loud as I can.
A gun range kind of thing, but where you can just go say slurs.
Yeah, to get it out of your system. I had just seen, because I was looking up Oscar stuff, I just saw a mutual How Do I PDF, which is great. But if I knew that the Oscars were Hamas, I would have watched them. Dang. Let's see. Yeah, this top one, I just search Oscars. The top result on Twitter right now is some fool named Ryan Rosbiani saying the Oscars went from amazing to anti-Semitic in 45 minutes, right after No Other Land won. They can't hide their hate for Palestine. Oh, that's what he's highlighting other people. That's why I was like, man, that is so ridiculous. But
I'm like,
you know what's funny? He's highlighting. Oh, I don't know if you know this name from great segments on Chapo Trap House, but John Podhoretz was going crazy on Twitter. This is the best Oscars I think I've ever seen, and I've been watching since 1971. And then 45 minutes later, from John Podhoretz, fuck you, anti-Semitic, anti-Israel Hollywood filth.
Also,
Oh my
I just
God.
want to say, be consistent with your own fucking shit, guys. Isn't Hollywood, that's like kind of like, if you're going to get all stupid conspiratorial and stuff,
yeah.
it's like, how would Hollywood be anti-Semitic by your guys' racist thinking? You think
and even
they
the
run
numbers,
that shit.
they're not, generally, they're not anti-Israel. People in those demographics and people that work in Hollywood and put these movies for, it's like, there's a reason that something like this
How
usually
many fucking
doesn't get out
Holocaust
there.
movies have won Oscars and stuff like that, you know? It's
Oh,
like
yeah.
been Oscar bait.
Yeah.
I'm not saying, I don't know. I don't know about, and I don't care about the demographics of people working in Hollywood, but that's like cliche of people who are anti-Semitic, that they say Hollywood is very much,
I mean,
you know, like,
there's reasons for it. There's very interesting historical events that pushed Jewish people into.
But I'm saying for
into
their
that.
own bullshit, it's like
Yeah.
one thing that says a Palestinian won one award, and they're like, "You guys are anti-Semitic."
It's
Wow,
like, meanwhile,
you guys are anti-Semitic.
like, you watch the mainstream media, don't even talk about Judaism at all. It's like the pro-Israel slant that everything has is so crazy. I mean, you can't read the New York Times without like this bias coming through and stuff like that. So I can only imagine what doesn't make it, you know,
Right.
outside of just like already pro-Palestine, you know, insulated bubbles and stuff like that.
Well, also the people that made that film were both Palestinian and Israeli.
Wow.
So one of the guys, the guy that
That's
ended
amazing.
the speech for them was Israeli. And he was like, hey, it's crazy that I can just walk free in that country.
Yeah.
And my brother here has a different life than I do.
Yeah.
And we should be the same, basically.
Yeah. It's like
And it was like so
makes it,
powerful. It was
yeah.
like, wow.
It's like, wow, I should watch this movie. I should watch this.
Absolutely. I want to see it. It's like had like no distribution in the States. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, and I guess we can come back to it. We'll talk about the Oscars late, but there's that movie that everyone is upset that got all these nominations.
Honora.
What's that?
Was it Honora or something else?
What's it? Is that?
Oh, Amelia
Honora's
Perez.
about
Yes,
sex
Amelia
worker.
Perez.
Oh, that's
that
about
people
it.
just generally agree wasn't even a great movie.
It wasn't good. I didn't watch it,
And then
but
there
I've
was
seen
some
clips.
stuff about the
It was
star
written by
having problematic
French.
takes on George Floyd and all
Oh,
this kind
God,
of stuff.
that
you know?
too?
So it's like
It was
yeah.
so.
and they
Amelia
win.
Perez.
They don't even mention the trans community, and it's all about like
yeah, trans.
trans.
Yeah.
like that's like kind of the main plot point.
It
Yeah,
was
isn't
a
it about, like, a
Spanish
sex change
Spanish.
thing, right?
It was a Spanish film by French people.
Oh, okay.
Apparently, it sound to Spanish native Spanish speakers, it sounded like they just used Google Translate for a lot of.
Oh, really? Oh, man, right off the bat. Oh, but speaking of Honora, since you brought it up, and I'd never heard of it, it's always after the Oscars. It's like, okay, now there's some movies that I guess I should check out because I haven't heard of any of these things. But
Yeah,
Honora,
gotta get on the
someone said,
film side of TikTok, man.
yeah, maybe. But sorry to reheat the intimacy coordinator discourse, but the fact that a film about sex workers didn't have an intimacy coordinator and swept the Oscars like that truly sets a terrible precedent. So that's an interesting thing to look into.
Definitely.
But
The director left it up to the actress. Do you want an intimacy coordinator?
yeah, and then you look into all of those.
Sorry, what?
Like when you're working for someone else and what you think, how you think it'll come across when it's making you be the person to be like
To make the choice.
demanding, quote unquote, something like that. Oh boy, it's like when you should
Yeah.
just set things up the way that they should be for the good of your cast,
Yeah.
for the good of your film. Very interesting. I'll have to look into these too.
Lots of drama this year.
Yeah,
Pun
cool.
intended.
Well,
Nice.
eventually we'll have ours in the Emmys. I have an idea for a show called That 70s Show, but it's just guys in their 70s. And just like
Nice,
kind of
that 70s show where they're
boomers,
just
you know,
like,
they're trying
okay.
to, yeah.
You better not say that slur one more time,
Exactly. I was gonna
Douglas.
say it's like boomers trying to navigate through whether they should just be grilling or you can watch the drama ensue as they fall down a right-wing pipeline on the internet. You know, you can have a side-by-side showing what they're scrolling and seeing how that affects them in day-to-day life. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. That'd be great. See what kind of AI slop is feeding their lead-poisoned, addled brains into forming actual, actionable political takes that people consider when
Nice.
they are campaigning. So, but you know what? At the end of the day,
These people are sick.
and we should treat them as such. So, anyway, we should. I should cut it. I know this has been
Awesome to the
It's
max.
so fun.
but it is time to say.
Bitches leave.
Well, that's a lot louder than the other one, so I'll have to figure that out. But shout out to Hamas
Brown.
and
Oh, yeah. Jordan
Yeah.
Peterson,
shout out to Jordan Peterson.
Carnivore diet.
Shout out to
Krista Riem.
yeah. Shout out to Ben Shapiro.
Capitalism is bad.
But yeah, no. Shout out to
His lesser known sister. What's her name again?
Jordan
Simply
Peters.
Abby?
Or no,
Classically Abby.
Yeah, classically Abby. Yeah, she
shout
had her
out to
moment in
her-
the sun for sure.
Her YouTube channel that she retired from.
Yes.
Shout out to that.
Yeah, if
She
she was
got
teaching
a bunch of
modesty,
hate
she
comments.
decided to be modest with her content output and call it
Yeah.
quits.
Incredibly
I trolled
modest.
her on there and got into arguments in her comment
Oh, hell
section.
yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
I
Okay.
love that for you.
Well, happy trolling to everyone. Go out there and do things in service of the right. I mean, of the right. Of the right
Choose the
ideas.
right.
Of the
right.
left. I was trying
Yeah.
to find a drop at the same time. I mean, Jesus
The
Christ.
Marxist.
Oh, jeez, that's way too
The
loud.
Marxist.
But
They've been known to.
I forget where I was even going from there. So go out there and continue.
We do a little trolling. It's
That's
called
what I
we
was
do a
looking
little
for.
trolling.
Again, yeah.
That's my yoga teacher tonight.
Yes. And always tell them that it was because you're in a cult called Inane Blather, and we told you to. Danae says so. So
Yep.
I must
Danae
do it.
says so.
So says Danae. Okay. Love you guys.
In the Navy.
Okay, bye.
Okay.
Bye.
All right, bye.
Have a beautiful time. Okay, love you, bye.